At this time, what I'd like to do is introduce the Director of Primary Literacy, who will be providing this wonderful presentation. Her name is Laura Moore. Laura Moore, thank you so much for being here with us this evening. And so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you to begin our presentation.
All right, great. It's so great to see so many of our families on here tonight. And I wanted to let you guys know that you are free to use the chat feature. Miguel, if you notice that something comes up that I need to hit right away, that's great. If not, I can answer any questions at the end as well. I don't mind staying on for a few minutes for you guys to ask more questions of me. So with that being said, I'm very excited to be here tonight. I joined Richardson Independent School District this year, back in July. And I'm coming from Wiley Independent School District, where I served as the primary literacy curriculum coordinator for the past 8 years. So primary literacy is very familiar to me, and it's been great being able to put so many pieces together this year, especially in such a crazy year. But the thing is, moving forward, we have some really exciting stuff coming for your students and for the teachers of Richardson. So I can't wait to share with you guys some of the great things that are coming in regards to early literacy and phonics for our district. So we're going to just jump right in. And I want to start with the why. And one of the things that we have really noticed statewide is that our students are struggling in reading. Not all of them, but many of them are. And what we know is that to become proficient readers and writers, students need a really strong foundation in certain skills to help them succeed. Our goal is to help generate a lifelong love of reading and writing in our students. But to do this important work, we need to put a focus on some of those skills that are scientifically proven to help students read and write. So our why is that we've got to set the foundation to create lifelong readers and writers. And to do this, we're going to be digging into the science of teaching reading. This is nothing new, but it has been something that has not been spotlighted for quite some time. And it is really goes back to how the brain learns how to read. Reading is really not a natural process. It has to be systematically and explicitly taught. And to better understand that process of reading, I want to show you guys something called Scarborough's reading rope. This is where a lot of that information, it creates a visual of how kids learn how to read. So I'm just going to kind of go through this with you guys, and please put it in the chat if I need to go over something a little bit more. This just gives you a little bit of a visual of the parts of reading. So we've got language comprehension, and this is the part where students have to have background knowledge. This is especially important for our EL students. This is where we work on building vocabulary, where students are understanding the meaning of words, those language structures, how words work, verbal reasoning, how things kind of sound, does this make sense? And then their literacy knowledge. This also goes into genres, how different kinds of like text features work. This is a lot of those comprehension pieces. And those pieces kind of weave together to create one big fat strand. Then we have this other strand that is word recognition. And that includes phonological awareness, where students are hearing sounds. It includes decoding, which is where students are reading the words, and spelling, which is encoding, where they are having to write the words, and then sight word recognition. And both of these two big fat strands have to come together to create skilled readers. And what I wanted you guys to really notice is that you'll see these two little arrows. One says increasingly strategic. So as we become better readers, we start to use specific strategies that help us to comprehend. And as we pick up all these word recognition strategies, these become increasingly automatic. So all that brain work that little kids do when they're learning how to read, where they see the words C-A-T and they go k-a-t, that becomes automatic, and no longer, as they become more skilled readers, do they have to sit there and sound out every single sound. Things become more automatic as they develop these skills. So these create fluent readers that are able to comprehend what they read. So when it comes to the Scarborough's reading rope, this is something you might look up on the internet, and it's going to come up and look very similar for anybody that takes a look at this. And this really is going to be some of the foundation of the work that we're going to be doing with students. With this, like I said a while ago, students need explicit and systematic instruction. That means that it has to be done in a systematic sequence where students are learning how to read. They have to be done in a developmental progression so that students build foundational skills on top of each other instead of just skipping around and doing one thing here and doing one thing there. It has to be done in a very explicit way where students are practicing, the teacher is modeling, and they're getting to practice this independently. And a lot of these skills, because we're talking about how it becomes increasingly automatic, these skills need to be spiraled throughout the whole school year. So we're going to be really talking with our teachers, especially about the explicit and systematic instruction that needs to happen, especially with our primary students. Within this, there are 5 major components of reading, and each one of these is full of processes and content that is really important for our students to have all together. And so you see 5 big pieces. We've got comprehension, which tends to be the more fun piece for teachers to teach. It's probably the one that a lot of teachers are the most comfortable teaching. There's phonological awareness, which I'm going to go over just a little bit in the next slide on the difference between that and phonics, because they kind of start the same, but they're 2 totally different things. And then fluency, and that is how students are reading not only their speed and how they're reading that way, but their expression, their prosody. Are they speaking in appropriate phrases instead of little choppy phrases? So that fluency piece, and then that vocabulary, which is huge. And we know that the more vocabulary students have, both oral, written, and reading, the more successful they are as they progress through school. So those 5 big components really are things that make up a big part of our TEKS, which are the standards of how we teach students in Texas. So I want to give you guys just a little bit of instruction too, because as parents, I know you guys get curious about things. And one of the things I wanted to bring your attention to is the difference between phonological awareness and phonics, because although they start very similarly in the way that they're written, they are different. What somebody once told me, and I love this kind of stuck in my head, was that if you think of phonological awareness, these skills can be done in a dark room with your eyes closed. So it is all done through hearing and speaking. There is nothing that is attached to print when it comes to phonological awareness. So it's really important to know the difference. When you're looking at phonics, that's tied to what the students are seeing as far as letters, and it's tied also to them writing those letters and seeing the letters. So although they can be taught simultaneously, some phonemic skills and phonological skills really need to be in place before students attach sound to print. So phonemic awareness becomes phonics when letters are attached to it. So and I'm going to show you guys some of those skills because you might recognize some of these. So rhyming, any of those nursery rhymes that you may know from your childhood, poems, any of those skills is a very low level skill when it comes to phonological awareness. And it's something that kids can do in the car. They don't have to have any print in front of them. It could be done in the hallway, but it is something that really helps build students' ability to hear sounds and to hear how words work. We got a little echo on there, just checking. So what I wanted you guys to notice, what I wanted you guys to notice on this is that there is a progression of skills when it even comes to hearing and speaking sounds. When it comes to this, we start very, very low level with rhyming, where students are hearing rhyming. Then we go into sentence segmentation, and kids are listening for how many words they hear in a sentence. Then we talk about syllable blending. So if we're talking about music, where the kids are hearing music, music, they're starting to blend syllables. Then it goes into onset and rhyme. Onset and rhyme might be k, at, to where we've got the onset, which is k, and the rhyme, which is at. The kids can hear both of those pieces. It's an easier thing for them to do than it is for them to segment all the different sounds out in a word. From there, students progress to phoneme blending and segmenting. And this would be if they heard k, at, and they were able to go cat. Or if I said, okay, we're going to say the word cat. Now I want you to stretch those sounds apart. And how many sounds do you hear? K, at. Oh, I hear 3 sounds in cat. So the students are able to do those things with greater complexity. And then the final piece that is the highest skill in phonological awareness is phoneme manipulation or phonemic awareness. And this is when students are really manipulating sounds. So if they're changing cat to mat, they have to change that k to m. So it allows students to be able to manipulate sounds before they're ever attached to a letter. This work is really, really important for our students, especially when it comes to being really skillful spellers, because that's how kids really attach that meaning to those letters, is by knowing what the sounds are. So this piece right here is really important, not only for parents to understand, but for teachers and students to really be able to know the difference between those two pieces. So our goal is to help students transfer this early learning of phonics and phonological awareness to authentic reading and writing.
Laura,
But, oh yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. We did have a question. Is there a
Yeah.
link to that slide, or is
Oh,
there?
I can sure make it available. The one with the progression.
I believe so.
Absolutely.
The slide you were going over.
Yeah. Would you like, I can send it to you, Miguel, or I can put it into our, in our chat.
Wonderful.
Okay, hold on. My lights just went out. There we go. I have to go wave at him ever so often. Sorry.
That's okay.
So, one of the things that I really believe in, there's a expert out there named Wiley Blevins. I really love his work. And this is a quote from him. Says, phonics helps students gain access to words, which in turn helps them gain access to meaning. And that this is the point of reading, to comprehend the information, to learn something new, and then to enjoy escaping into the world of a story. And that's what we want for all of our students. We really want them to know the joy of what it is to be a reader. And one of the ways that we're going to be supporting that in Richardson is through House Bill 3. House Bill 3 is legislation that was passed at the state level. Teachers who work with any students, kindergarten through 3rd grade, including administrators, are going to be required by House Bill 3 to complete 60 hours in the Texas Reading Academy. So next year, we've had 4 campuses, our 4 ACE campuses this year, have started on this journey, including myself. I was telling Miguel that earlier today, I submitted my final artifact, and I've got 2 more modules to go. I like to walk alongside my teachers as much as possible. But this is a 60-hour course. And I will tell you, it is like taking multiple college courses. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of fantastic learning. And what we're planning on doing is next year, we're going to be launching district-wide with all of our K-1 teachers, including support staff. There's going to be instructional coaches. Our principals and assistant principals will be going through as well. And this is really going to set us up for success when it comes to foundational literacy. And so I want to show you guys some of the learning that's going to happen with this. Knowing that the following year, 2022-23, we are going to be bringing on second and third grade. So at this time, the legislation only requires K-3 teachers to go through this Texas Reading Academies, but we will also be having ESL, SPED, some of our librarians will be going through it. We're going to have just anybody that comes into contact working with our K-3 students is going to be required to proceed through this learning with us. So it's going to be an exciting journey. All right, so let me show you guys what some of the learning is that we have done this year and what our teachers are going to be moving forward doing. So we have two different cohorts going on right now, and we will continue this next year with our bilingual teachers as well. So we have ELAR, which is our English side, and then we have our biliteracy modules, and they intermingle at most of the areas except when it comes to phonics and phonological awareness. Those are the big differences for the English and Spanish languages. So I'm going to take you through just some of those basics, but you'll notice that we have an entire module based on the science of teaching reading. There is an entire module based on oral language and vocabulary, which I am very passionate about. We have a whole module on phonological awareness, alphabet knowledge, decoding, encoding, and word study, which really is what I've been talking about this evening. And then we also get into reading comprehension, written comprehension, and then our tiered supports. So as you'll notice, some of these modules are 2 hours of work. Some of them, like module 10 that I just finished, was about 9 hours of learning. So these are very intensive. Teachers get 11 months to finish them. They do a recorded video artifact that has to be submitted to be graded by independent graders that don't know them. And they have a final project as well that is turned in to be scored by independent graders as well. And teachers do have to finish and successfully complete this by 2023 to remain teaching in the K-2 classroom. I just thought you guys might need to know that. But it is something that is fantastic learning. I think it's going to really strengthen our teachers' knowledge capacity when it comes to teaching our youngest readers to be successful. Okay, so moving forward, this is going to be in the future. So this year we've really, kind of gotten our feet wet with that teaching reading, the reading academies this year. And so moving forward, we have some really exciting things in the works. One of the things that we are going to be doing is we are going to be working with our dual language department, and we are going to be realigning our phonics scope and sequence to follow a science of teaching reading and research-based approach. We do have some really great resources in our support curriculum, not curriculum, but our support resources that we purchased a couple of years ago through Benchmark. And we are going to take what they've started with and create videos for our teachers so that they've got examples. We're going to be, I'm going to show you guys some of the supplements that we're going to be purchasing so that our teachers feel even more equipped to meet the needs of their students in early reading. And we're also going to be setting up a lot of resources, a bank of resources, including a Google site, videos, all kinds of things that are going to really help them transfer their learning into the classroom. That's really the whole goal of the Texas Reading Academies, is for our teachers to become better reading and writing teachers. And then we're going to also be doing continued professional learning. And this year we did monthly professional learning with our K-2 teachers. This year we're going to be doing that as well, but we're going to be really focusing and honing in on those areas of learning they're doing in the reading academies so that we really show them ways for that to transfer in with the students. That way we see the best of the best with our students as well. So the other thing that's coming besides these, which are planned out already, is the fact that we're going to be using some of our ESSER money, which is some of our COVID relief money, to enhance classroom resources. We're going to do some supplemental additions to our classrooms. And one of the things that we're going to be providing every K-2 classroom in the district are word study kits. These are going to be serving both English and Spanish. They are going to be great for our teachers to be able to pull small group and give them some really great resources to be able to do that with them. We're also going to be investing in more decodable readers. We've got some that came through our adoption this past couple of years, but we found out that we really need more places for our students to apply what they're learning in phonics. So we're going to be purchasing a set of Spanish decodable readers for our Spanish classrooms and English decodable readers for our monolingual classrooms. And that is going to really help give our students places to apply the skills that they've picked up this year and next year as they move forward. So these are some of the things that we're really excited about providing for our teachers, and that are going to also really, really impact our students and their knowledge as well. So that is really the end of what we were going to go over tonight as far as our plan moving forward with our phonics plan, with the teacher learning that we're going to be covering, and with supplemental products that we're going to be putting into our classrooms. And with those things, we're going to also be providing professional learning so that our teachers know how to use them. Because it's only one thing just to give them something, it's another thing to show them how to use it and to help support them as they do that. All right, what questions do you guys have? Let's see.
Can I ask a teacher question?
Please do. Ask a teacher question.
Okay. Well, I would really love to know when we're going to get started with this. Is it going to be, are we going to be able to do it during the summer? Or is it going to be?
With the Reading Academies?
Yes.
Reading Academies, we're going to be, if your principal hasn't already shared it, we've got a presentation and I can share that with you if you'd like. We're going to be starting with K-1 teachers and then other folks in there in August. August 10th is our kickoff day. Okay. And one thing I didn't mention in there is that we have hired 11 reading cohort coaches that are going to be over a cohort of teachers and helping them go through the modules, but also on the campuses, in their classrooms, helping give them ideas on how to implement, you know, working together, brainstorming together, full support, really totally trying to see the transfer into the classroom. So it's going to be really exciting. We've got some really great people that are going to be helping support our teachers. It's going to be awesome.
Anything that we can look at during the summer?
I mean, I've got a whole bunch of stuff downloaded. You're welcome to take a look at it. I'm setting up this Google Drive, and it's going to have, we'll have a whole tab for our teachers that's going to have all the downloaded materials from the Reading Academies.
Yeah, because, you know, and with Benchmark, you know, last year it was new and we were learning how to use that and teaching as well.
Absolutely. And you know what? The Benchmark stuff doesn't have videos to show you what it looks like. And I think we need that. So that's one of our goals, is to get some videos to show pacing and how it looks and how we spiral and all those pieces. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. So we're working on that reorganizing of those skills in June. That's going to be one of my June and July projects.
Okay, yes. Anything that you have to share with me, Ms. Moore?
All right, I've got you. Faith, what's your last name?
Gurule.
Oh, I recognize your name. I've gotten to where I can recognize my teacher's name, so I love that. Okay. All right, Faith. Yep, I got you. I got your name written down. I'll do some links to some stuff. Okay, and y'all wanted, I'm going to put the link for the slide deck in here. So if anybody wants that that slide, I can add it in here.
Laura, do we have is there any available resources, or is there specific things that parents can do during the summer to help kids practice? That's a question that came in from Jennifer.
Absolutely. You know, as a matter of fact, I have, give me just a second. I'm going to find you guys a link real quick, and I'm going to put it in here for you to be able to access. If you guys, parents, if you've seen anything about M-Class or Adele this year, It is a new assessment we started doing at middle of the year, and it will be all three major times per year next year. But there is a fantastic resource for parents to be able to practice and do fun activities at home to really support these skills. So I'm going to grab that link real quick and put it in our chat room. Okay, so give me just a second, and let me go in here and grab it. And then that way, that will give you guys something to help support your kids. Because I'm telling you, so many of the phonological awareness things are fun for the kids. Teaching the kids to, we call it talk like an alien, to where you go, you know, at, Matt. And, you know, aliens talk really slow and they break the sounds apart, or they go, Matt. Those are just goofy things that the kids really, really enjoy doing. And it just feels like a fun little oral game. So any of that, especially for our K-1 students, any of that auditory stuff you can really build with kids is important. Let me grab my thing in here.
So we do have some questions that have come in. So we're going to try to address all the questions while Laura is getting this link.
Sure.
So just bear with us. Once we get this link posted, then we can go to the next question from Joanna. And then we'll go from there. So.
All right, so go, how is this different from previous instruction? Okay, so Joanna, I don't, from what I have learned, because like I said, I've only been in Richardson for just this year, just because of the way teachers have gone through their college courses, the way professional learning has really been focused, just, I'm gonna say statewide over the past few years, there hasn't been as much of a focus on teaching teachers how to teach reading. If you're a teacher on here and you're shaking your head, it's true. There hasn't been much out there for us as educators to really, unless you pursue it on your own, there hasn't been a lot put out there to help support us in that area. So it has been in our TEKS, but I'm going to tell you, those TEKS are kind of cumbersome and they're hard to understand. And there's a whole bunch of skills within one student expectation. So what this new learning and our focus in the district is going to be is really going to be helping our teachers understand, what does this look like? How do we do this with our kids? You know, how do we spiral it with them so that it is supporting them as early readers? Because it almost feels like we've done the best with what we've known. And so now that we're going to know better, we're going to be able to do better. Does that help answer that a little bit? All right, I'm grabbing this Home Connect thing real quick for you. Hold on. Okay, I did see somebody on here saying, what is the procedure for sharing M-Class information? I know that we shared middle of the year information. You should have had Home Connect letters come home that explained what the assessment looked like for your student and where they scored. I know that first grade at middle of the year, we sent home every first grader in Richardson was screened for dyslexia. And so those were should have been sent home with the Parent Connect letters. And so that is one thing that if you haven't seen that, you can always reach out to me or your classroom teacher, and we can always get that information for you. So to let you know how your student did. I'm going to tell you, we finished M-Class and EDEL last Friday. So that end of the year information has not come home yet. It should come home next week. So if you haven't seen anything yet for the end of the year, don't be stressed out. We just finished, our window just closed. So I know that they're getting all that information and data populated because it has to go through the parent company. And once all that goes through, it feeds into our system here and we populate letters for our parents. And within that, we did a kindergarten screener in addition to for the students as well with M-Class this year, M-Class and Adele. And that kindergarten screener just helps flag students for further issues, maybe with dyslexia. So those should be coming home. I would say next week would be my guess, is that they're supposed to be going home next week. Did that answer that question? All right, let me pull up. Sorry, I'm trying to think and do the other thing at the same time. All right, let me get this one. All right, that way I can get this link in here. Okay, there it is. It's mclass.amplify.com/home connect. And there's lots of great activities. For example, as you and your child go shopping, have your child separate the sounds and the name of each item you put in your shopping basket, listening for beginning, middle, and ending sounds, and it gives examples of what that looks like. So there's just some really simple ways for you to be able to support your students. Okay, next question. Where are we at?
So we were with Maria Akon, I believe, Akon. It's in her question, is it only for K through, I'm guessing it's going to say second, or will it be extended to third grade also?
Great question, Maria. Maria, it is going to be, it is mandated K3. We are going to start with K1 and do half of our district next year, and then we're going to do second and third grade the following year. So good question. Yes, third grade's going to get it. They're just going to get it in 22-23.
Do you have an instructional system designers on board?
So Spike, give me some clarification. I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. Like curriculum designers, is that what you're asking? Or
Spike, you can unmute yourself and just ask the question.
sure.
Thank you.
Someone who's designed and developed training programs before, because there's a big difference between, you know, standing and teaching with your notes, but then, you know, it's a whole nother ball game when you have to have video elements, audio elements, animations, and everything like that. You know, it can get, depending on detail, over 100 to 1,000 hours for 1 hour that's finished for presenting. And it's critical, especially at this early level, to have people that know the whole process, because the teacher won't be able to do it by themselves.
Right.
Right. They're going to need a third party, you know, another individual to review the work and go through it and put processes in place to make everybody's life easier, so the teachers all of a sudden aren't freaking out. Oh, how am I possibly going to do this?
Right.
You know, it's very difficult really fast.
Correct. Well, when it comes to the reading academies, all of that work has been done through TEA, and they have lots of videos. They have done all of the prepping. They have all the handouts. Like, it is really fantastic, all the supports that are set up for teachers as in regards to that. When it comes to our curriculum within the district, we have, I'm going to be working very closely with teaching and learning. And, you know, when I talk about some of the videos for teachers, we're going to be taking some of our model teachers and just doing some like lessons with our real students so that they can see what that looks like. But we won't be doing really any like professional looking videos. Is not really the plan at this point. We really just need to get our teachers immersed in the work and trying it with kids. And you know, it's kind of like, to be a better reader, you've got to read. To be a better teacher, you got to just teach it. So we're going to keep going and doing some of that work. But no, I see exactly what you're saying. There's a lot of time to be put into it for sure.
Now, will those materials be available for parental review?
You know what? We have not the scope and sequence.
That's,
or
you know, that's the big picture. You know, just something that cuts through the middle from the big picture to some of the detailed items.
Right. That's a really good question. I am not sure how we go about doing that in our district, but I can sure write that question down, and I would be glad to find out how we would go about, sharing that with our community.
And I'll send you my contact info offline.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for chiming in and talking to us.
Oh, one quick question.
Yes,
So
sir.
what's going to happen to my little girl? She's finishing up second. She'll be in third grade. So she's essentially going to miss all this.
Nope.
When would she
She'll
pick it up?
She'll still get that, because what we're planning on doing is all of this information is going to be available for our teachers even after 2023, so that if we, I think that probably eventually we will plan to pick up and bring in our even upper level teachers, because we do have students that are struggling in those upper grades, and upper grade teachers sometimes don't know what to do to help fill those gaps. So we're going to really try to help support them. I also know that we are going to be having interventionists on our campuses next year, to where those interventionists will also be able to help fill those gaps for students that are missing some of that foundational learning. Good. Okay. All right. So I got Aaron's. Good job. All right. Let's see. Aaron, I got you. Do you have any more questions, Aaron? Oh, Aaron and I have actually emailed before and talked on the phone. Okay. Aaron, you should be getting your one next week. Your next one.
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
I didn't reckon. At first I didn't realize, and then I put two and two together.
Yeah, we know each other now.
Yes.
All right. Christine. Okay, so Christine, good question. No, we are not getting rid of balanced literacy. What the shift is to really, because balanced literacy, it gets a bad rap. And I will tell you that. It gets a bad rap because people think that it's like this old whole language thing, and it's not really what it is. But we do need to refocus and really get more balanced and bring a balance back, so that we're really addressing phonics instruction explicitly. It was done a little bit more embedded within small groups in the past. It also tended to be very spelling focused, as opposed to really helping students build all that phonemic awareness and phonological skills. So no, we're not going to be getting rid of that per se, but we are going to really actually get balanced and look at our schedules so that we really are being explicit in the way that we teach phonics. But we do want students to still be, engaging with authentic reading and authentic writing, which is really, when it comes to balanced literacy, it really gets into great read alouds, engaging students in shared reading, getting students into independent reading, which are all really great things. We just need to make sure that we've got a focus here as well. So I hope that answered that question, Christine. There's actually a really great professional book that's on back order that I've ordered called Shifting the Balance. And it's all about really getting back to the whole purpose of balanced literacy, which is with explicit phonics and phonemic awareness and phonological and all those pieces, those foundational skills, but also having those experiences for students as well in small group instruction. Okay, so let's see our next one. Yay, let's see, got that. All right, what other questions do we have in here? Okay. Aaron, I think I answered that too. Was the parents notification for everybody or just students at risk? It should be for all students. We should be, you should be able to track how your students did on this assessment. And I'm going to be real honest. Our kids are struggling in phonemic awareness with the hearing and the speaking. And so that is something that as a district, with my department, we're going to really, sorry, I got to turn the lights on again. We're going to really, maybe, can I get back far enough? We're not doing it. Hold on. There we go. With our department, we really are going to try to help teachers feel very confident in their instruction of phonemic awareness. So that is something that is coming. That's a big focus, especially for the fall. Let's see. What else do we have? Got the M class, include K students. Yes, that includes K students, Diana. Nope, we're not getting rid of balanced literacy. Okay, back to that. Let's see. Great. Okay, so Joanna, did that Home Connect help a little bit? I mean, I've got more things I can share if you want to email me. And there's some really great parent supports and resources out there to help your student, whether it be practicing their letter sound knowledge, because that is really, I would say, one of the things that is a huge milestone for kindergartners. For the end of the year, their goal is to leave kindergarten knowing all their letters and sounds. So if you've got a student that's really struggling with that, I can give you some tips to really help with that over the summer if that's something you're interested in. I'll put my email in the chat. If you want to email me, I'm more than happy to help you find those.
Laura, I don't know if you can answer this question or not, but we have
Sure.
written Spanish here from Maria, and she's got a child who is using of course, the Epic app
Right.
for reading, and she's wondering if when the school year's over, she'll have access, or is there any way to get access to the app to continue, practicing reading?
I believe so. I believe that you should be able to have access after that. I am not positive, but I can ask about that. I am pretty sure, though, that is going to be continued for sure. Let's see. For some reason, I sent it straight to Christine instead of the whole group, my email. So let me put my email in here. And that way you guys have it. I am more than happy to help you find anything to help your kids. All right, and it is right there. You guys can help me with that. All right, let's see. Christine, thank you for sending that to me. I'll take a look at that. All right, anything else? We've got literacy department hiring bilingual reading intervention positions. Yes, we actually are going to be hiring hopefully at least 10. So that is something that we are in the midst of interviewing for. Hopefully we'll have those by the end of the year in place so that we are really supporting our bilingual campuses with interventionists that can serve our bilingual students. Oh, great, Lori, that's true. Flyleaf Publishing has really great resources. I forgot about that. They've got online decodable readers that are fantastic. So let me drop that in there too. Thank you, Lori. That was fantastic.
John is showing us something over there. Reading reflux.
There we go. Okay. Oh, I sent it back to Lori. Duh. I always hate that whenever it sends you a message and then you try to send it to everybody and you forget, and there we go. Okay. So parents, if you want a good resource out there to help your students, there's Flyleaf Publishing, which is free, and it gives you some resources, but there's also free decodable readers on there that students can read online with you that are really great as well. So lots of good resources out there, especially, I don't think we would have all these great resources if it weren't for COVID. So it's one of the positives that so many publishers have put some great stuff out there for virtual.
John, do you want to flash that book for us again? You want to look at that, Laura?
Oh, what is it? Let me see.
Let's see.
Reading reflex. Okay, let me look at that one.
And this is, oh, I'm sorry. This is.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So what do you recommend that, Laura? What do you?
This is exactly what you've been talking about that that you're going to be implementing. And what they do here is they have a lot of game. I mean, it's all about, you know, what you're, you know, exactly what you're doing. In this case, it's, you know, consonant, vowel, word building. I mean, it goes through the whole ball of wax. And it's all about encoding, you know, just what you're talking about so that the kids get it in their brain. And it has games and things like it too. And I used this with my kid. And when she first came down there to school, you know, when we were getting her registered, the front office was amazed. You're like, oh, your kid's already reading? Well, yes.
Well, that's exciting.
Wonderful.
Okay. Look at all my teachers kind of helping me out, throwing out some really good stuff out here. Okay,
Wonderful.
I know Flyleaf. Let me look at the other ones too. And I'm going to go ahead and just click on these so that we've got those so I can kind of vet them. But no, there's some really great resources out there. I am familiar with the Flyleaf one, so that I can kind of take a look at that one, and Friends on the Block. Okay, that's great. Yeah, there's some really good stuff out there. You just kind of have to, you know, really look to see, is it what your students need? Really spending time on those auditory skills, because I'm telling you, if kids can rhyme, then they're more apt to be able to segment words and sentences, which if they can segment words and sentences, then they can start to map where they want their words in their writing. Like, it really does work together. It really is going to work together well to help our students be really successful, not only readers, but I have a huge passion for writing. And so really tying those two pieces together so that our students really love both. All right, any other questions? All right, I've got all those little places tagged. And what I can do, Miguel, whenever we put out the video, do we ever put resources out there too, like link to it, or no?
We can actually, once the video's out, we have a resources for parents section where we can actually put links, or just one link to your web page, and they can access all that information. Now, however you want to do it, we'll get those resources to our families.
Perfect. Then that's what I'll do, is I'll work on creating a parent resource so that you guys can access all these great things to work with your students over the summer, and also just to educate yourself a little bit on, you know, what are the stages of reading for my student? What do they need to have in place to be skilled readers? And so this will kind of help you just be informed as parents as well. All right.
Wonderful.
Well, it was great getting to talk to everybody tonight. I put my email in there again. Please feel free to reach out to me. I don't mind answering questions, visiting with you, Zooming with you, or just shooting you an email. So please reach out if you need anything.
So thank you. I guess it's going to conclude our presentation. And so I want to thank everyone. We're doing great on time. We want to respect and honor everyone's time for taking a little bit of that time to join us and learn, you know, about what's about all the great things that our ISDs will be doing to help our students succeed. So at this time, what I like to do is just quickly let you know that this video presentation will be available on our Parent Corner video library. It will be available in English and Spanish. And again, Laura's going to be working on a handout resource sheet, etc., and we'll be able to put a link in there right underneath the videos. You'll see a section for parent resources, so that can be accessed. And I'm going to go ahead and type in www.risd.org/parent corner. That's how you can access actually the parent page. What you'll do is there'll be some tabs, and you'll just click on the Parent University tab, and it's going to open up the video library. You'll just scroll down, look for the video, English or Spanish, and click on it, and then the resources will be right there for you. So there it is. So at this time, Again, I want to thank you for being here with us. Hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful rest of the school year.